Luigi, I have something to tell you. It's a deep, deep dark secret. I am your brother! No! God, I'm an idiot. Hey everyone, this is LuckySevenDX. Welcome back to Let's Play Mario and Luigi Dream Team. In the last episode, we rescued Peach from Dreams Deep, but Bowser met and Tasman, the two of them have teamed together, and Tasman has escaped into the real world, and he's after the Dream Stone. So it's up to the two of us to head to the Dozing Sands and put a stop to all this. So, new area, guys, new exciting stuff. It's just over here to the east, but of course there's the beach to the west, and it's a beach, and I want to do that. But first, we actually get a chance to gear up. Last episode, we actually got our first rank up and thus got an extra gear slot. So now we have accessories and or gloves we can equip. We have some okay ones for now, but this shop has one that is extremely helpful for hard mode and makes normal mode really, really easy if you abuse it. And that fabled piece of equipment, well, first of all, we can go through all the other stuff. We have these boots, which is a pretty good upgrade, and this hammer, which is not an upgrade for this, but is an upgrade for this. Now, we're going to find a really good hammer really soon, and we'll find a few pair of boots that are adequate, or actually are better than these anyway. So, we actually have better options coming very soon for these. This, we actually have one option that's not even technically better soon, but it's only a increase in 6 for now. So I can get away with not buying them now. I'll probably buy one more of these later on, because we're going to get a bunch of coins, but I'm also saving coins, because money will be necessary in the future. In fact, we're going to be using a lot of money for some cool things very soon. But, actually, this episode even. So, these, I mean, you get the shell, gloves, I mean, the extra defense is always nice. Boosts the chance of a drop, which is always cool. Increase the amount of your badge meter fill is also cool. We've gotten these extra coins. But this is the thing that's necessary for hard mode. We had a guard shell in Bowser's Inside Story. I was like, I've said the right title right yet. Bowser's Inside Story had one of these. It was really rare and negated 1 source of damage for the fight. This negates 3, which is necessary because, as you can see, enemies do a lot more multi-hitting attacks and just a lot more attacks in general. You saw how often we were getting attacked with Bowser, so they upped it to 3 to buff it. But because of that buff, 3 attacks, we get to negate 3 attacks every fight. Very helpful for hard mode where you're taking tons of damage. It basically will negate our first 3 screw-ups per brother. So I'm going to give them both this. Very unlikely until endgame when we get really strong stuff. Very unlikely. Until that point, very unlikely that I'm going to be removing those things, because they're just that strong. And hammers and boots, like I said, no need to upgrade them. We'll get a piece of wear at some point. It'll be good enough to get at some point, but for now it's not really necessary, so... Oh, Toad. I wonder how wet mushroom would smell. That can't be pleasant. No siree. Anyway, you can go ahead and get some extra coins here, which will be helpful. Not buying the wear now, because I'm saving the coins for... There's more important things to buy for coins very soon. There is this over here. We'll get to that actually very, very soon. Otherwise, the beach doesn't have too much more. It's just a source of, extra 50 coins, which will be helpful for shopping. We actually head over this way and get an extra 10. Just 10. You can't hit it multiple times. But unfortunately, of course, we can't actually get into the main part of the beach. It's apparently mobbed. His beanie sunblocks. Oh, boy. So, yeah, it's the entry point, blah, blah, blah. It's way too crowded, so we can't enter. Convenient excuses for you, video game! But that's okay. We will... Yeah, fire marshal's orders. We'll get to the beach eventually, just not today. There is one of these X-Things over here. We'll be getting to those real soon as well. And there'll be a lot of backtracking to be had when that happens. So, basically what I'm trying to say is, expect a backtrack episode very, very, very soon. I'm not gonna spoil when, but very, very, very soon. Anyways, we've dilly-dallied enough. Let's head to the desert. We have enemies. Oh, never mind. We have money. We have new enemies to get. We have new expert challenges to do. In fact, have the expert challenges showed up yet? Because we're technically in the Dozing Sands right now. Probably won't show up till we actually fight a guy. Nope. But it is a new area. So, excellent 10, dodge 10, the usual. So, the road's under construction though. So we have construction shell tops. Shell tops are their name, right? I think so. Enemy, come to me! I must fight you for your excellence and your dodges. So, these guys, memorize what color they are before they get covered in sand, because it will be important later on. If they angle up that way when they're doing that attack, they will jump above you. Yep, he's gonna jump above you, but it could be either one, which actually is really inconvenient because Luigi is so close to the left side of the screen. You saw how little time I had to dodge that. Him actually being more to the left actually becomes a hindrance for a fight when you get attacked to the right, because you have so little time to dodge. It does make it when he's being attacked, when he's getting attacked from behind. If he's getting attacked from the front, they're heading left towards him. He actually has a little bit more time to dodge, which is nice. Because we, once again, like I said, excellent 10, dodge 10 exists. I'm gonna use the hammers a lot, because all the enemies can be hit with hammers in this area, and it's just easier for me to get excellence with the hammer. I generally do not have a problem getting excellence with the hammer as much as I do with the jump, so expect me to do a lot of hammers when I have the option to. Hello, I was not prepared. That attack will, they'll attack all together. In fact, they don't actually count as separate enemies, so even though we've been attacked 3 times, we only have 2 on here because they actually count as just one swarm of enemies. Because that attack, they all attack at the same time. So I guess that's... I don't know, because of that rule, I guess, these enemies are not very good for farming dodges because even though there's multiple of them, they all attack together, so it only counts as one attack, even when they're very separate. But that attack, basically, they'll all rush you, and they'll always go after the one whose color it is. So the red ones will always go after Mario during that attack, and the green ones will always go after Luigi. So, prepare yourself. That being said, if you just jump at both bros, it will not be a problem, so... Craziness! But that's how it works. And then we have these guys over here, and these guys are the interesting one of the Dozing Sands. I will purposely get hit by these guys at some later point when I am not trying to get the dodge 10. This one, it'll always be the bro whose eyes it points to. Their other attack is, they attack separately, so they actually count as separate attacks now. So, as you'll see here, their attacks are now separate, so that was a +2 instead of a +1. Anyway, so it's kind of weird how some of the enemies sort of count as one enemy, but some of them count as separate enemies. It's a little weird. Anyway, their jump, we'll see more of their attacks as we go, basically. So, just gonna keep farming these excellent 10s, gonna keep hitting up the hammer. They actually have a decent amount of HP, especially because on hard mode they have more HP. But, this attack, basically, they'll be very varied in the amount of, basically, they could be either really high, you have a really hard jump, or they'll be really low, and you have a really easy jump. It varies, so prepare for the jumps to be of different sizes, I guess, or, well, the size of the jump doesn't matter, but just be prepared that they'll be different sizes, is what I'm trying to say. Going to attack a separate one, because I want that one to stay alive to give me more chances to dodge, because it's more chances to dodge. More chances to doge. Wow, many enemies, much hammers. Yeah, so now as you can see, this one's really high up. It's actually going to be impossible not to counterattack him. Otherwise, the other attack, just whatever bro he's looking at with his eyes, prepare the hammer, and as soon as he gets close, hit him. You only have one opportunity. If you miss him there, you're going to get hit. Generally, as he gets closer, it's more likely for him his next move to be right next to the brothers, so be prepared, essentially, to counterattack whenever you have to. There we go. We're doing pretty good at getting these excellents here. Like I said, I am much better with the hammer. I feel like, especially in hard mode, it's much more... I mean, you have only 1 button press as opposed to 2. Obviously, you have less chance to screw up, so the hammer just makes more sense. In fact, we just got the excellent 10. So the excellent 10 is done already. Pro elite skills, if I say so myself. And we'll just fight another enemy at some point for the dodge, and we will be good to go. Also, because it's a new area, we have more attack pieces, which means a new bro attack coming up very soon. And by very soon, I mean not very soon at all. The pieces will be very spread out among the area, so it may sometimes take a while to get all of them. It'll take pretty much the entire thing. So usually these guys come in packs of either 2 to 3, by the way. And as you can see, they attack at the same time. The red one goes to Mario, the green one goes for Luigi. I can do whatever I want now, though, because I have the ability to not... it doesn't matter if I get excellence or not anymore. Huzzah! I just need to keep dodging more attacks and it'll be good to go. I probably should have fought with the slime guys, because it would have been better for that, but is this dodge 10 right now? That is dodge 10. I called it. The only other thing I want to show off is I want this iron ball hammer to do its effect. Do it! Do it! Because sometimes it'll drop an iron ball. I don't know the exact percentage. It's not that common. Maybe 30%. Ooh, a shock bomb. That's new and exciting. It's our first battle item, in fact. we'll get a few of those along the way, but shock bombs I don't use that often. In fact, there's a second one in here, so I guess the next battle I get into I'll show off what they do, but won't promise anything too spectacular. It's generally not very exciting. I don't know how I missed that one question mark block and not any of the others, but I'm being very careful to make sure I know where everything is, because it's easy to miss something in the desert. In fact, this desert will have, well, we'll get to the explanation for that very soon. I'm not going to explain that right now, because it's spoilers. But for now, look at this guy. You know what those things are? Those things are badges! It's time we finally reached another badge shop. By the way, since I didn't show it off, you cannot, I repeat, cannot, I'll show it off probably next episode, actually, for reasons, but we cannot head back to Dreamy, or not, just Pillow Castle. We can't head back there yet. The bridge is still out, so this is the only chance that our next chance to get badges is right here, actually. So, badge shop. That's why I saved my coins. We're buying some badges today. But he's actually going to try to sell some badges. 1,000 coins is a little pricey, though. So, the Mario Bros are not convinced. Playing Hardball, 500. Well, wow, that's a pretty generous discount. Wow, 20% already. But the bros are not, the greedy bros are not content. 100, not good enough. 80, not good enough. 50, not good enough. You know where this is going, guys. This guy's really bad at haggling, basically. 1 coin, still too pricey for these greedy bros. So the guy eventually caves in, and he's going to give it to us for free. But don't worry, Mr. Guy. For your generosity, we're going to be buying pretty much every badge from you. Because this guy has a lot of really good badges. And we're going to buy a lot of them early on, which is why one of the reasons why I saved my coins is to get these badges early. Because now, the cool part, we get badges now, guys. We can change our badges up. We can change all the different effects. So we can start using badge combos with our different stocks. It's really cool how badges work in this game. I love the badges, and especially in hard mode, knowing how to really abuse the badges comes in handy. So, head down to the badge menu where he's going to give us an explanation on changing badges. So, use the R button for the fellow in red. Use the L button for the fellow in green. Basically, Luigi's greens are always going to be the they're the set of effects, and then Mario's are the intensity of the effect, if that makes sense. You trade off basically how strong the effect is for how long it takes to charge. So you'll have starter, master is kind of like one set of effects, by the way, and then the bronze one that we just got has like bronze, silver. We've seen the silver badge in the stores before, etc., etc. Those will be a whole different set of effects usually. So while the starter set gives you HP, the bronze set gives you BP back, as we're going to see in a little bit, so on and so forth. So generally, each badge has 2 different sets of effects of 3 levels of intensity. Doesn't really work in all the cases because some of the effects don't really have an intensity setting, but like I said, you know, this is going to be BP instead. And then this, though, however, this is what we're going to be using. This basically forms a barrier. Whenever you use it, it forms a barrier that reduces damage to 0 for 3 attacks. Essentially, it gives you an extra guard shell, though it's on both bros. So if Mario takes 3 attacks of damage, those 3 be negated, but Luigi will no longer have a shield. So you get basically 3 more screw-ups for both your bros. Cumulative for both of them, not separate. And then over here, it's temporarily increases defense, so basically it's a defense buff, but negating all your damage entirely is better in my opinion, so we're using this. These will take a decent amount of charge. As you can see, by the way, by setting our new badge, we lose all our badge meter. That will also occur if you change badges in battle, which we can do now. We can change badges in battle. In fact, we will be very often. Boss fights will be very strategic with the timing of our badges and using badges that cost less to get so you can get more effects. Basically, while we're fighting normal enemies, I'm going to be saving up the really expensive effects. And then while we're in battle, I'll be, with bosses, I'll be switching to the badges that charge up faster so we can get additional effects during battle. Badges are really strategic. I think it's really cool. So I am going to go in here and buy another badge. They have a couple new ones that we haven't seen before. The virus badge is very good for using status effects, so we'll actually be buying that really soon, because status effects are very helpful to have in this game, especially a certain combination that we will be using very often, but we don't have the funds for that right now. The risk badge I'm probably going to hold off on getting for a while. It's not that useful. It's very high risk, high reward. Sometimes it'll have really good effects, and sometimes it'll actually hurt you. We'll get into those later when I get that. Master Badge is basically a direct upgrade to the starter badge. It'll just take more time to build those effects. So those effects are really good, like I said, to charge up during normal battles, and then switch to something that's not the Master Badge during boss battles. And then the Strike Badge will deal damage to enemies. a Strike Master combination will actually do 80 damage, which seems like a lot, but there's a reason why I don't like it, and I will explain that once we get the Strike... Once we see other badge effects in battle, I'll explain why I don't care for the Strike badge. In case you're wondering, by the way, Strike Bronze or Strike Silver will do AoE damage instead, which you don't want to be doing damage effects unless you're against a boss, so it's not really very useful, in my personal opinion. Obviously, different playstyles will work for different people, so... Master Badge, we are buying, though. You know I've wanted that Master Badge really badly, and it's extremely helpful right now. And I'm glad I didn't need that Master Badge for the Bowser fight. The Bowser fight was the badge in particular, or the circumstance in particular I was worried about. But the Master Badge, well, if we switch over here, you'll see that it does go from 30% to 50%. That being said, for this, it makes it from 3 attacks to 6 attacks. So it essentially gives both bros an extra guard shell. Or, you know, Mario, it basically gives you 2 whole guard shells extra for 1 badge stock. It takes a very long time to charge up, but we have time. We're just in the starting new area, and I'm not going to really use badge effects except for bosses, so it works out, basically. So I believe I have excellent in dodge now, do I not? I believe so. I am going to go into one more battle, though, just to show something off, because I have not oh, my 3DS batteries are about to die. Hang on a second, I need to go get my charger. Apologies for that, ladies and gentlemen. I had to go get my charger because I just got home from my trips back home for the holidays. Because I stayed a little bit longer than I normally would have because I was recovering from wisdom teeth surgery, as I mentioned before. But, also, I'm going to purposely get caught by this guy now, because now that we have the Dodge 10 Expert 10, I don't care. So, this is what happens when we get caught by this guy. It's actually very unique. Also, they'll never catch more than one bro, so once one's caught, the other one will never try to capture him. So you can see, you can actually jump to show them where they are. But as long as you're trapped in there, any source of damage to that enemy will deal damage to the bro inside of it. And unfortunately, there's really no way out of it until that bro is free. And also, you'll take ongoing damage, but you also have a chance to damage it in return, so... This also includes counterattack damage, which is why suddenly Luigi is now, you know, his guard shell is already broken. Also, if you want to be stupid, you could jump on them, but then Luigi will take damage twice. So, that'll break your guard shell real fast. But as you can see, 18 damage. Luckily, the counterattack kills him there, but as you can see, enemies hurt, which is why I'm using the guard shell from now on. That's like almost half of Luigi. That's like very close. That's a third, at least, of Luigi's health taken out right there and there. Now we can go ahead and show off the shock bomb as well. Did you do anything? No, because it makes enemies dizzy. I guess I didn't show that off, did I? I'll show that off momentarily. I don't want to get hit by this, because I want to make sure that doesn't happen. I'll actually go into the item description and show that off in a second, but yeah, I don't use the shock bombs because they're really unreliable. They don't do anything half the time. Also, I messed up that attack, so now I have to do another of these. Get out of here. Oh, wow, these guys have a lot of health. Don't forget, we do have increased defense, or they have increased defense because it is hard mode, so this is why I cut out battles. They do drag on for quite some time. Anyway, so that's what shock bombs do. They can have a chance of making the enemies dizzy, but they're very unreliable. They actually have their own category where we're here for battle items that we haven't really explored yet. Also, we have beans, but we don't have any yet. Mysterious! That'll change soon. Very soon. Anyway. I've given so much foreshadowing. It's crazy. Anyway, wah! He fell down! Oh no, construction shell... the shell top, right? Yeah, that does sound correct. So he fell down there. Britta. Who is this Britta person? We'll find that out eventually, but, how do you gotta get back up there? You can't. There's no way to climb that sand flow unless you have a scaffold. Uh-oh, is that a hint for the future, perhaps? Well, it seems like we have to get up that sand flow, but we don't necessarily have a way to do that quite now. And as you can imagine, if only had some magic stairs, well, we might be able to do something about that eventually. But as you can see, we have no way of getting up there. You automatically slide back down, and it's a cutscene, so you're kind of days about a sand flow accident. One. Way to go, guy. No, this Britta person seems a bit harsh. Interesting, interesting. Stay still! So it looks like some shell tops are having issues with, well, some of these sand dune people, so... yeah. Good for them! Of course we will help them with their plight because it is necessary for the story. But, hello, do not attack me. I've fought enough of you people for now. As you can see, we can't really do anything over here because we can't get through this barrier. You can't, like, jump over that or anything. But you can kind of imagine what this area is. It has a lot of these things, and that usually end in these guys using hammers. And there's a thing over there, by the way. There's a pillow. I see that pillow. But as you can see, we are needed here, so let's fight these guys. And you can kind of imagine how things will go from there. So I've shown off these guys enough, though. So I won't keep this in. Ooh, a lucky hit. You know, despite how much I've shot the hammer, I've yet to get the Iron Ball effect to work. I think. Right? Huh. Well, definitely once we get to the Dream World. The Dream World is where the Iron Ball sort of effects shine. So we'll see those really soon. Anyway, so we help these guys out, and they're going to help us out. We have hammers. You have hammers. Teach us your hammering ways. That's right, guys. It's time for us to get our first field skills, which is my unofficial term for them. Special techniques, maybe that's close enough. I saw this in a movie once! And yes, I know that the video time has gone on fairly long. We will end the video time soon enough, do not worry. So, basically, first of all, we get the ability to get hit underground. So, you basically Luigi whacks Mario on the head with the hammer, he gets hit. It's your typical Mario and Luigi fare. We've seen this all the time. So, doesn't hurt very much. Doesn't sound very promising. I don't know how Mario and Luigi don't remember how to do this, by the way. They've had this for, what, 4 games now? But there we go. We can knock Mario underground, as always. Once we're underground, we can move around with the circle pad. And, well, you can imagine the effects of that. We've seen the Mole Mario before. And what happens with those X patches, but that'll be explained later on. We don't have to worry about that right now. One more thing you can do with the hammer, if you head over to a solid patch of area, so if you're not under a soft, if you're in a soft surface, you'll hit him underground. If you're on a hard surface, you'll shrink him instead. And by shrinking him, you'll be able to go through small holes. So all those small holes we've seen, we can get through those as well. So basically all those small holes we've seen, now we can get into. Which means basically next episode is backtrack episode. It won't be until the second half of the episode, but we will be going back before we continue into the desert too much further. We get the mini Mario, by the way, but we will not be going into much further into the desert until we have all of those items and stuff, because we get a lot of coins and a lot of opportunities out there. So it's actually kind of nice to be able to backtrack and get all that stuff. It helps in hard mode to have every advantage you can. So backtracking episode will happen really soon. I mean, it's not even that far of backtracking. It's literally just one area over. So before we get further in the desert, by the way, we can't do anything with that area right there yet because these guys are in the way, because they'll actually explain about those X's once we're done with that. So let's quickly go ahead and do what they say, demonstrate our newfound abilities with a little bit of a test, and after that we can Well, in the episode once the explanation is done with. So, head over here and get 10 coins from that block. Head over this way, and you have to do the other ability, so make him big again, and then hit him back underground. And then Mario gets to go separate this way. Hammer this, by the way, because that's a pillow. And that's actually a pillow we're going to... It's a story-required pillow. So we'll have to get that later on. Anyway, wrap that up. We're going to bring it in, and then they're going to explain the one last thing. I'm actually curious what happens if you try to leave the area, though, before you get the... Hello, I don't want to fight you. Get out. Are we able to actually, like, do things? Okay. I guess we can still, like, go through this area despite not getting the explanation. Surely it's required. I'm actually really curious. By the way, second attack piece is over here. So, as you can see, the attack pieces are very slowly being gotten. But, so what happens if I try to... Get out! Excuse me, sir. I do not want to... I don't want... Now I'm really curious if you can leave. Because there's other X's and stuff you can get. Can you skip the tutorial? Surely not. Surely not. Surely he will not let us leave. Okay. Interesting. I'm assuming you don't need to get the tutorial necessarily then. I'm wondering. Huh. Well, I don't want to explore that possibility any further because I do want the explanation, but that's interesting to me. But if anyone knows the answer to that, if you can just skip the tutorial, I'm pretty sure it's required, but either way, I guess you can technically skip the tutorial because it's not really that plot relevant. The thing is, though, you'll miss out on a free bean, and that's what these X's are. I mean, we've seen these games before. It's beans! And they work the same way that they do in Dozing Sands story, by the way. They will increase our stats. So we will be backtracking once again to get not only the holes, all the items behind there, but also get all those beans in the past few areas, because beans are stats, and stats are important, especially BP. Any sort of BP growth we can have early on is very important. So we will be backtracking next episode to get all the beans and all that stuff, because it'll be handy to have. But first, what we'll do next episode is we're going to explore this pillow, because pillows are important. But that happens next episode, guys. I'm going to go away from that enemy before he punches me in the face, because this episode has been long enough. So, this is LuckySevenDX signing out. In the next episode, we explore inside a pillow, crazy stuff will happen, and then we go backtracking to get a bunch of stats and loot. Very exciting. Which, by the way, if you remember correctly, Eldream gives us a new piece of a new reward after we rescue one more pillow. So we'll be able to get that too next episode. Which is why I'm doing the pillow first. But yeah, very exciting. So we'll be doing all that next time, guys. This is LuckySevenDX signing out again. Bye-bye.